Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing my nails and I'm going to start off by saying I freaking love this set. I have them on right now and I scheduled myself to have these nails on for 2 weeks before I remove them and do my nails again because I'm actively trying to book myself in for appointments so then I'm not neglecting my own nails. And I'm already sad to be removing them. I'm not removing them for like another week and a half, but I'm already devastated. I love them so much. Anyways, we are just skimming through prep here. I had already removed my last set like a couple days before this, and so I'm just prepping, pushing back the cuticles, using my little taper bit here from Erica's ATA to get all that dead crap off of my nail plate, and then trimming my cuticles. Well, we're just skimming through it because I really just am excited to show you guys the actual set and how to do it. One product that I'm featuring today, which I'm excited about, is the Bandi Gel Fit nail extensions. And I wanted to do a video showing these specifically because I want to show the difference between like Gel X and this style of tip. So the style of tip that I'm using, you'll see it very shortly, but basically it's like a thinner nail tip. So whereas Gel X is quite sculpted and quite shapely, these ones are quite flat and they're great for things like encapsulation. They're great for doing junk nails where you're going to be adding a lot of volume to the nails. They're great if you want to do an overlay so you're not having like super thick nails on top of like an already sculpted kind of Gel X situation, if you know what I mean. But there's also different ways to apply them. So today I'm going to show you the method that I use to apply them. That's like the recommended method from Bandi. And I've applied tips like this in the past, and so I am quite familiar, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's quite easy. It's very quick and very easy, which is, you know, just lovely. So after I finish all my prep here, I'm just going to wipe down my nails, and I'm going to be using Jello Peel Off Base Coat. If you guys have been watching my videos for a while, when this first was like super popular, first came out, I started using it, but I was using it on like my natural nails. I wasn't putting extensions on, and I actually find personally it works a lot better for me doing it for extensions. So I'm going to be using it on my left hand today. I'm not going to be applying it to my right because I'm going to keep my right hand short. But my left hand I am going to be applying these extensions. So I'm just doing a layer of that and then curing it once I've got it on all my fingers, and then wiping it down, and then we're going to use the Gel Fit nail tips. These are the square tips. They are a tapered square, and you get them in sizes 0 to 11. Usually my thumb is a 0, but this one I actually went for, I believe, a 1, which is great sizing wise because people with a little bit larger thumbs than mine can find their size, because oftentimes it is hard. The one thing I will say though is my nail beds are quite long, like very long, so you are supposed to leave a few millimeters between your cuticle and where you apply the tip, but I am pulling mine down even a little bit further just because I have to accommodate the length of my nail beds, and I want to make sure that the tip and where it tapers is still reaching sidewall to sidewall. So I'm just going through and I'm sizing out all my nails. I'm making sure that everything is a good fit, and I'm doing this after I've applied the base coat because I want to make sure that they're a good fit. Now if you're applying these and you're not using Jello, this Bandi Fixer Base Gel, which is what they recommend, you actually don't have to apply a base coat first. This is a base all-in-one, but the way I'm doing it is I apply a bit without like leaving a big glob in the tip. I just paint it into the tip, and then I paint it on top of my nail, just a thin layer. I'm going to talk about different ways to apply these tips as well, and in one of the cases you could do a bit of a thicker layer, but we'll get to that. So basically I'm just going to press this onto my nail, and I have my little light there ready to go, and it fills like up right to the edge, and then I just flash cure it, and it doesn't burn, which is lovely, and the gel is actually quite sticky, so oftentimes I'll like let go to like make sure it's straight, and it just stays there. Now applying on myself, I always apply this way where my fingers are straight out, so I can kind of see that I'm making sure that the tip is straight to my finger, whereas if I apply kind of with my hand and fists directed towards me, your nails always end up a bit more crooked. So like I mentioned, you can apply this in a few different ways. This is their recommended method, where after you'll go over with some gel over the top, which is what I'm doing today. Another great way to apply these would be to do this in this exact same way, but adding a little bit more gel to your nail plate beforehand, because basically what it'll do is at the back there, it'll fill in the gap a little bit more, so you have less to level out afterwards. See, so after I've done a full cure, I'm going in now and I'm kind of filling in that back gap and then painting over. But if I had applied the base a little bit thicker, there would be less to fill in. You do have to be careful because you don't want anything seeping out, but if you can do that cautiously, it definitely is an effective method. Another way to use these, which I'd like to try multiple ways to do these in the future, let me know if you guys want to see that. Another way to use these would be to, after having just applied them, I could file around the edge to smooth out the back side of the nail tip a little bit, and then that would make this part a little bit more seamless. Or I could do that and then I could just do a builder gel overlay directly over the top, which I think would actually be a really nice way to apply as well. This is kind of essentially what you're doing. It is a little bit of an overlay. And if you're, say, doing junk nails, just like straight up as is, covering your nails in a whole bunch of charms, not really concerned, I wouldn't worry about the silhouette of your nails too much. But because I knew I wasn't going to do, I mean, I am doing some junk, but not entirely, I was a little bit more fussy with my shape. I was fussing around with the brush, and then I do a bit of filing after. But the idea is that it's supposed to kind of cut out a lot of that process. So just smoothing that over there. And these Bandi products are available from Sweetie Nail Supply. You can use code Rebecca for 10% off. I'm a brand ambassador for them, which is lovely. So I'm just trying to perfect the shape a little bit before I go in and cure. And these tips were etched both on the top and bottom, so that's a really nice added thing. So I don't have to go in and etch them at all before applying. But now I'm using a bit of top coat and just applying that to the underside. If, I always say this, if there's a top coat that you have decided that you don't like, not saying the one I'm using is that, but this is a great way to use that up. If there's one that's not tickling your fancy, applying to the underside of tips, that's the perfect purpose for it. So now after I've done all that, I'm going over and just wiping down the nails with some alcohol because the nail is sticky after using that fixer gel. And I'm just gonna cut down the length a little bit because I wasn't feeling that crazy, you know? We needed to be a little bit more practical. Like I said, my nail beds are so long, so these are actually technically still quite long, but to me they felt a little bit more manageable. I'm just going in with my file. I'm just cleaning up the shape a little bit. And you can see by cutting down the length, they become a little bit less tapered and a little bit more just like straight up square, which I like. And now I'm going ahead and refining the cuticle area a little bit. The Bandi Fixer gel is quite rubbery in feeling, so if you choose to do a method where you're going to be refining, I would actually use maybe a different builder gel as your like overlay gel, because it didn't file as easily because it was quite rubbery, if that makes sense. It was an interesting texture. I would use that one as the overlay if you're just planning on like leaving it as is. Now I'm going in with my Nail Thoughts clear builder base and just using it as like a base coat, just doing a thin layer of that to smooth out the surface, to smooth out those etch marks I just created while I was refining the surface. I'm just gonna go over all of the nails. I'm not showing it, but oftentimes I'm doing my thumb, I'm flash curing, and then I'm doing 2 fingers, and then flash curing, and then I'm doing the other 2 fingers, just to make sure everything is set in place. Ooh, another great reason for top coating the underside of the nail, if you're gonna be doing any sort of clear elements or jelly, it makes it more clear looking. And I am today going to be using GS52 from the More Gel Glass Stain collection. I was so excited. If you guys watched my video of my giveaway 10k subscriber giveaway video, I showcased this product, and I was so excited about the green, so I had to use it today. And thank you to all of those who entered. The giveaway winner has been selected and contacted, and I'm very, very excited. So hopefully more giveaways in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. And so I'm just going to do 1 thin coat, and then I'm going to give them a cure and then go in for a second coat. they look like candy. Like they look like they should be green apple candies, don't they? They're so cute. You could totally leave it at one coat if you want something softer, but it's me, so of course I don't want anything softer. Always the loudest option. Look how beautiful! Oh my god, I'm obsessed. So now I'm wiping them down. I think I mentioned this before. I've been experimenting with not putting down a matte coat before I airbrush. And it worked well today, so happy about it. So I'm just going in with black airbrush paint today, and I'm going to be doing different little designs on each nail. So a little bit of a messy spiral there on my thumb. I'm just going over that. And I use the One Air airbrush paints. If you are in the States, or if you're not in Canada, you can get those from, I mean, you can also get them if you're from Canada. Get them from Glam Nails. Use code, or Glam Goodies. You can use code Rebecca for 10% off that. If you're in Canada, I'd recommend getting them from Really Hot Girl Nails. I'll link her below as well. She's in Canada as well, so you just avoid the shipping and duties. So I'm doing this, and in traditional me form, I'm going to change it. But I'm showing you my first round. I'm gonna go in with the pinky, and I actually end up loving the pinky design, so I end up doing that one again. Just like an outline. It's like the same idea as if you were to do an aura, basically, like a green aura on black nails, but I don't know, something about having the like see-through green element I thought was so cool. So really just hitting around the edges. And here we go, wiping off that middle. The funny thing is I was like, I don't know, maybe the striped nails just feeling a little too juvenile for this set. It's the dumbest thing I've maybe ever thought, because literally this set looks like it belongs on like a goth child. No, actually a scene kid. Me being obsessed with scene kids when I was like 12 would have died for this set. And again, just doing another outline. And guess what I'm gonna put on that ring finger? It's gonna be stripes, because I decided it's not too juvenile, and that's exactly what this set actually needed. I'm crazy, guys. Now, after I'm happy with my airbrushing, I'm just going to file around the edges of the nails. I treat airbrush the same way I treat chrome, so I file around the edges, and then I'll give those a dust off with a dust brush, and then I will clear coat those in. So I'll use my Nail Thoughts clear base just to cap in the airbrush, just to make sure nothing happens to it while I'm applying the charms. Oh, and I am adding I'm adding my Nail Thoughts refill. I love the refill bottles. Adding a bit more to my bottle. God, I'm very passionate about refill bottles. Something I never thought would be a thing. But here I am on my little soapbox screaming about refill bottles. And just going over with a thin layer. You don't have to worry about it being too thick or anything. And go over with a light hand too, because you don't want to disturb the airbrush paint below. Once I've given that a cure, time to apply the goodies. So I have my little dunk tank there of Ivy Fix gel, and that's what I'm dunking my bigger charms into. It just makes life a lot easier, if I'm honest. I am going to be using like the Macart squeezy tube as well, but that'll be for applying smaller little beads. But I highly recommend, if you're doing charm nails, have a dunk tub. And also have your pin cure light. This is the Diami pin cure light. I've had it for years now. I got it from Sweetie Nail Supply ages ago. They still have them. I'll have that linked in the description, but I really recommend them. I've heard a few people have other brands and they haven't been quite as long lasting, but this one I've had for years. Knock on wood, because now I'm afraid that I've said that I'm gonna break it somehow. Now I'm just taking some of that Ivy Fix and I'm going over my bigger charms with the paintbrush. I could have gone a little bit more heavy-handed on this. I went quite thin. But I do like my charms to be really in there, so I should have gone a bit heavier. And then I'm going over the little silver beads with my little squeeze tube of Macart gel. It makes it easier for these types of guys, and then I just go over them with my little brush, little liner brush. And then pop that in for a full cure, and then I'm going in with my favorite Bandi wipe gel. I freaking love this top coat. It is so shiny. Like, my clients request this top coat all the time, and I know not everyone can get it from Sweetie because I think it's just a Canadian exclusive. Double check. I would like keep your eyes, because what if that changes? Keep your eyes peeled. But I freaking love it. Like, literally, I had a client thing yesterday that was like, can you use a super shiny white top gel on me, please? And I was like, yeah, girl. You know it. But here we are. Here is the finished set. One hand long, one hand short. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm literally obsessed with this set. And let me know what videos you want to see from me next, and I'll catch you in the next one.